welcome. Rabbi Cohen from Eretz Yisrael. With Hashem, we're going to proceed with Arvit, and then we're going to go to the big Bet Knesset. The shur will start at Hashem at 8 o'clock. We're going to continue with our chizuk on guarding our eyes on Shemirat Enayim. I want to share with us maybe a very famous Rashi on the pasuk that tells us, Lo taturu acharei levavchem v'acharei einechem. Don't follow your eyes. Don't follow your heart. Don't follow your heart. Don't follow your eyes. Rashi explains something very interesting. He says, Halev ve'ha'enayim hem miraglim laguf. The heart, our man's heart, and eyes are the spies of the body. And he explains, Umisarsirim lo et avirot. And it transmits and it promotes unfortunate transgression and sin. Ha'ain ro'ah ve'alev chomed. The first thing that happens is the eye sees. The next step is the heart has desire and lust for it. And then finishes off Rashi, ve'haguf oseh et ha'avirot, and then the body, lo alenu, will engage in an avirah. There's steps. First we see something. If one doesn't see it, then they can never want it. It's the same with all types of ta'avot, all types of desires and lusts. If you don't see it, you can't even imagine. If you don't imagine that it's there, you could never imagine to want it. And therefore, this is the great gift that we have this piece of knowledge, this teva, this nature that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us, that if we don't see it, we don't imagine to have it. Nowadays, in the world that we live in, everything is shown to us. What you have, what you don't have, what you want, what you don't want, what you imagined, and even what you never imagined. And then that's the whole purpose of marketing. Marketing is to explain to you, to sell to you how you need this product. It all starts with catching the eye. Once we're able to catch your eye, then we're going to speak to your heart. Once we speak to your heart, we get you. That works for the good, and unfortunately it also could work for the bad. Lo alenu, some woman who is not yours, not dressed properly. You see her, there's lust, and that could come to sin. Whether it's with that individual or with another, has v'shalom. And therefore, the whole idea of guarding our eyes is the aleph bet. It's the first part of sanctifying oneself and removing oneself from something which is definitely prohibited. I want to share with us a chidush from the Ben Ish Chai, an amazing chidush. He said if you look at the eye has 3 components to it. However, we can divide it into 2. You have the black of the eye, the pupil. You have the color around it. We'll call that part still the black of the eye. That will be the lens. And then you have the white part of the eye. Ben Ish Chai says, what part of the eye allows the human being to see? What part of the eye transmits the pictures that are being viewed in front of the eye and projects them in the brain? It's the black part. And he says that the black is always considered to the Yetzer Hara, compared to the white, which is Tohar, purity, compared to the Yetzer Tov. It's with the black part of the eye, the very source of the eye, the Ben Ish Chai says, is something which is novea, which comes from Yetzer Hara. Just looking, you have an issue right there. And therefore, the Ben Ish Chai says we have to be so careful, amongst everyone else that we've been quoting over the weeks, to be so careful to guard our eyes, because from the beginning, more chances out of not, it's going to probably be no good. Because you're looking at it with the black part of the eye, with the Yetzer Hara part of one's very being. And therefore, as we've said, and we keep on saying, it's very important to guard our eyes, speaking to myself just like everyone. And we said that nowadays we have even a bigger struggle, a bigger fight. It's not only in the streets, it's not only at work. It's in our pockets, it's on our computers, it's on billboards, it's everywhere. And therefore, one has to have a commitment. Make the commitment to guard our eyes, as we've spoken about all the amazing brachot and things that we benefit from it. To make that commitment, we'll have a happier life, we'll have a more successful life, and as we've mentioned, we'll mention it again, our wives will be more beautiful in our eyes, which is the greatest gift that we can ever imagine. Whenever there's variety, right? What's the whole idea of a menu? L'havdil, I hope, right? A menu at a restaurant is because there's boredom. If you eat the same thing every time for lunch and every time for supper, so a menu gives you a variety. Has v'shalom. when an individual gives their eyes the variety to, I can't even say, imagine I'm saying this, to look at other women, this one and that one and this one and that one. So, lo aleinu, one's wife is just another menu. It's just another item on the menu. And then the closeness and the relationship, which is supposed to be forged physically and spiritually. It's both. It's not one or the other. It has to be both. You cannot have a spiritual relationship with your wife only, and you cannot only have a physical relationship with your wife. It has to be spiritual, physical, emotional. And therefore, if your wife is the only item, it's a horrible way to say it, but the only item on the menu, then that is very, very special. But if it's another item, has v'shalom, on the menu, then it's just someday, no, it's not for real. And therefore, may HaKadosh Baruch Hu bless us to understand that the black part of our eye, which comes from the Yetzer Hara, hopefully that we guard our eyes as much as possible. B'ezrat Hashem, Baruch Hu, Amen v'Amen.